I'm just going to top stitch that down. I'm building up the width of the bag with scraps of denim. I'm going to sew down there. This is 2 inches wide by 7.5 inches long. Two inches wide, and I'm just going to stitch those two together and then top stitch. So I've cut a strip of lightweight fusible interfacing, and I'm going to sew these strips down onto that. And I'm going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to start off with the right side up and then right sides together. I'm going to press that down first onto the interfacing. So I wanted to measure 18 inches across, so 9 inches from the centre seam. I'm unpicking the waistbands of some old jeans. I'm going to go and do a pretty pattern down there. If you're doing a decorative stitch, it's best to test your stitch first to make sure that your thread, your needle and your fabric all work well together. I sew my decorative stitches nice and slow so that I don't make an error and slip a stitch. They're a pain to unpick and I don't want the design to be out of sync. So I've got this far and now I'm going to have a change of plan. I'm not going to use this section here at the bottom. So I'm actually going to make the back and this bottom section all in one piece out of just crazy denim. So I'm going to go and get that cut. I'll give you the measurements and then we'll get started. So I have a piece of fusible non-woven interfacing, and this measures 18 inches across by 29 inches long, and I've folded it in half. I'm just going to put a clip up here just to hold the corners, and I've drawn 2 inches down by 2.5 inches across on the fold, and I'm going to cut those out. And then I have all of these scraps of denim, just a bunch of different scraps, different sizes, colours, shapes, and I'm going to patchwork. I have no clue how it's going to turn out. I've got some black vinyl and some gold vinyl that I may add into it as well, but I'll just see how that works. So I'm just going to play with it and see what we can come up with. So let's get going. Okay, I'm just going to cut those corners out. Here I measured it to 9 inches and cut a straight edge. I'm measuring 9 inches down from the top of the interfacing as a guide. I'm just going to line that up along that line. I'm going to actually press that down. And we have a start. So now I'm just going to start building from that. So I'm just going to build it up patchwork and we'll see how it goes. Here I made a scrappy hole and put some of the green fabric behind it. I'm just going to build it up as I go along and just add bits of embellishments. I've laid up my bag, I've ironed it, and now I'm going to stitch it down and then give it a good press again afterwards. And maybe just keep building it up in places. I'm not sure, we'll just see how it goes. So I'm just adding embellishments, and then I think I'm going to they're just bits of scraps that I've got lying around from previous projects. I think I'm just going to put that there. So I'm just going to hot glue these on once this heats up, and I think the outside of my bag's done pretty much. I managed to get a couple of stitches down. My sewing machine just didn't want to play anymore. So I've finished the outer, and now I'm just going to cut exactly the same size out of the shirt material for the lining. I'm going to go and sew down here, and that should be enough then for my lining. Got my piece of recycled shirt, and I have 2 pieces of fusible fleece. Lay the interfacing with the glue side down against the wrong side of the fabric, leaving a seam allowance all the way around the edge. So I'm going to press that down with an iron, and then I'll be back. Fold the long edge to the wrong side about 3/8 of an inch and press, and then fold again and press, and then top stitch. Fold over and press twice the 2 side edges and the bottom edge. So I'm going to stitch down here, and up there, and down there. And then on this side, I'm just going to place a pocket roughly centre. I'm just eyeballing it. And I'm just going to stitch that one down. So I need to mark the centres of my bag at the top. And I have a 14-inch zipper, and I'm just going to mark the centre. Lay the zipper right side facing down, matching at the centre marks. Match up the lining fabric with the right sides facing down. So I have a zipper sandwich, and I'm just going to go and sew down there. I'm using a zipper foot on my sewing machine, which makes it easier to sew closer to the zipper. Fold the right sides of the bag outer together and repeat matching the zipper at the centre marks. Repeat the same with the lining, matching the right sides of the fabric together. And I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to sew down there. Now I'm going to sew the sides, making sure I match the seams at the zipper. It would have been better if I'd have ironed the seams open and flat. I'm going to leave an opening of about 6 inches on the side, so I can turn the bag through after we've sewn the sides together. Sew, and this bit here we're not going to sew. I'm going to sew the corners 3/8 of an inch. Match the corners of the outer and the lining and pin in place and sew. Flip the bag right side out through the opening that we left in the lining. Oops, make sure that your zipper is open first. Sew up the hole in the lining. Piece of denim, 2.5 inches wide, and it's 28 inches long. Fusible interfacing that's 2 inches wide and it's 28 inches long. This part of the strap we're going to make scrappy, so I'm just going to use whatever denim I've got and I'll just line it up and sew it raw edges zigzag. I may have add some of the corking as well, so I'm just going to build up the scrappy part of the strap. I've cut the Scrappy strip down level with the lines of the interfacing, which is 2 inches wide. Press the denim edges under 3/8 of an inch, and I'm folding the raw edges of the Scrappy strip under about 3/8 of an inch. Line up the 2 strips with the wrong sides together and clip in place. The denim strip should overhang the Scrappy strip about 1/8 of an inch on either side. I'm using my stitch in the ditch foot as I can run the straight edge along the edge of the Scrappy strip. This gives me a nice neat edge for top stitching. So I've cut the cork 3 inches by 1 3/4 inches and just cut out the middle to fit my hardware. So I'm just going to place it inside. So I'm just going to go and stitch those down. So I'm just going to put this on exactly the same. And the same for this side.